Today I'll be doing a quick review of this Tom Howard interview. He gets into the limitations of the game, what you can and cannot do, and answering a lot of the main questions regarding Starfield.
About 10% of those planets have life on them.
The first and main topic I'll be covering is something you're wondering about and everyone's wondering about: the planets. We all know there's 1,000 planets, but what we don't know is how interesting they will be and how much content there is for each planet. And this is what Tom Howard has to say about that.
Exploration different than we've had, where you're landing, you're exploring around that landing spot, and then you're probably going somewhere else.
So pretty much the first thing he does confirm is, one, that only about 10% of the planets have life on them. This kind of makes sense. Honestly, I'm not too surprised about that. The next thing he says, though, is that he does mention that there's going to be some times where you're landing on a location. There's not too much to explore on the planet. Obviously, it's a barren, maybe a resource-driven planet. You go there, you explore a little bit, and then you're leaving and you're searching for the next thing to do. The next thing that they asked Tom is about the multiple biomes featured on some of these planets. Are all the planets going to have multiple biomes, or there's just going to be one on some planets?
There are obviously planets that might have one type of biome, and there are planets that have a whole bunch. And their creatures and the plants and everything go with the biome. And if you fully survey a planet, that data is actually worth a lot of money, credits in the game that you can sell. So there's a whole part of the game that's really just doing that.
Okay, so this is pretty interesting. Some planets will have apparently a ton of different biomes. Some will have one. These planets probably have more of a certain resource, I'm assuming. However, he does mention something that's pretty interesting, and that's the fact that you can actually sell information that you've gathered on these planets. Which is a pretty interesting way to make money, I guess, on top of setting up outposts that mine resources, trading with others, pirating ships, looting ships. They're just giving us a lot of options here, I'll be honest. This next question's answer might shock you, I'm not gonna lie. Now, for this next question, he asked about the option to touch down on these planets and have a land vehicle to traverse these giant planets, or a mount of some sort.
There is not. We do design it. I think when we've seen this with our other games where we want to design it so it feels good on foot, but we do have the boost pack. You saw some of that in the video, and you have skills for the boost pack. So the boost pack almost acts like this vehicle. It's super fun where you can fly through, and then the low gravity planets are just really, really something special in the game.
Here's confirming that there's going to be no mount. There's going to be no form of land vehicle that you can roll around on these planets with. However, this is going to be a huge disappointment for a lot of people, I feel like. He confirms that the jetpack really is the only mode of transportation we're going to have off of release anyway. I'm not sure if we could see some through DLC. However, personally, that's not too bad for me. I know some people will complain, but I'm kind of a foot type of guy. On foot type of guy, I mean. Yo, next fucking question.
A lot of people very excited about romancing NPCs. What is the breadth of that? Is there a wide range?
The four main constellation ones are the ones that support full quest lines for them and romance.
So it seems like the only romanceable NPCs are going to be the four main ones from the Constellation group, being Sarah Morgan, Mateo, Noel, and I'm assuming Walter. Personally, I don't really have any crazy opinion on this. Yeah, it's cool. Romance options, let's go. So this next section, as we're still talking about companions, we're going to talk about the option to not actually use the companions throughout the whole gameplay.
Will we have the option to just play the game solo without any companions or crew members, or is that going to be a necessity as we're playing through the game? And along those lines, can crew members on their own, through our own decisions, decide, I don't want to do this anymore, and they leave?
But we do support where, if you don't want to do that, there's traits that really make you, I want to play by myself. And then there's also skills that go into that give you special perks and bumps if you are solo. Them leaving on their own, they can, depending on the choices you make, they can get angry with you.
Yeah.
And then the relationship that you have with the companion can change based on the decisions you're making in the game.
So this is actually pretty good news for you that want to travel alone or want to have some kind of cool storyline behind your character where you're some kind of lone pirate or just a lone adventurer in general. You don't need the companions. actually there's a few things in the game that help you while you're solo. So honestly, I think your best bet if you want to play solo is to just leave these companions at outposts so they can generate things for you, but you don't need them on your ship traveling with you everywhere. That's probably what I'll do. I might keep 1 or 2 companions on my ship personally. I'm definitely taking Vasco with me though. Now this next section is a big one. Here we're going to be talking about mods, the compatibility of mods, what this game is going to support when it comes to all of these modding opportunities. Now usually I'm cutting some of the stuff out that he says because it's like pretty widely known stuff, but I'm just gonna let him talk for this portion. I'm not gonna lie, because this is just...
Are you excited to put mods into this game with so many planets to explore and the opportunity to create?
Yeah, I think Starfield is going to be kind of a modder's paradise. It's part of our DNA here. We've been doing it for over 20 years. And our community around that, because look, we've usually been classically single player. That has been our community. And people are still modding our games and playing them. So we're doing a lot of it. And I think one of the things that I'll call out is it's important for us not just to enable that, but to participate, right? To make it easy for them, to make this where they can make it not just a hobby, but a career. We've had a lot of great success there. So looking forward to what everyone's going to do with Starfield, just like cannot imagine.
All right, so pretty much what he said here is that he just created Game of the Century. We can just do whatever the fuck we want in the game. Mods are actually welcomed. In fact, he made it easy to mod the game on purpose. Legit, this is just music to my ears, and probably to a lot of people. Like, this is great news. There was a lot of speculation on Twitter for some reason that this game was not going to be supporting mods. Like, I want to see some good, like, ridiculous-ass mods on this game, because a lot of people are talking about playing this game for years. I want to be able to, goddamn, replace my companions with Pokemon, bro. Like, give me something hype. Like, I want to be fighting shit. Like, okay, I'm getting a little off topic, but let me get back on. We're going to be talking about the performance of the game and the gripe of 30 FPS. A lot of people are complaining about the 30 FPS. Personally, I have no opinion. I will not be playing on Xbox. But let's see what Tom Howard has to say about 30 FPS and performance mode.
Was it ever under consideration to potentially do a performance mode that you would take away some of these features like you just talked about with the volumetric fog?
We never looked at taking features away. Our focus is on delivering all of that.
Okay, so I do want to say, if you didn't know, this game is running on Creation Engine 2. It's like the same engine that they were using for the previous games like Skyrim, Fallout. But this is a new updated version that they have for Starfield. So they're wondering pretty much if there was going to be an option for performance mode that was going to get rid of some of the new features. Things like volumetric fog or the new advanced GI lighting techniques that they're using on these planets.
We have obviously seen other games that have performance modes, and we lean toward consistency overall, and we talk to our fans and hear that from everybody. So we're feeling really great. Game feels great in your hands. And I would say, look, developers know this, but there are things that you can do to make that look and feel great. Things like motion blur, how fast the game refreshes or reacts to a controller input, all of those things matter to something feeling great. And I can honestly say this is the best feeling game that we've had.
So pretty much he says that even without performance mode, 30 FPS is going to look and feel way better than their previous titles. I honestly don't think this is a bold statement. A lot of games have felt good on 30 FPS, like on console before. I really don't think it's that big of a problem. Now, they actually stated previously that there's actually a decent amount of headroom on this 30 FPS, so it's going to be a pretty consistent 30. It's not going to be really dipping into the 24s and the 20s. Now, we have seen videos of it doing that in older builds of the game, but as they've been polishing, I'm sure it's gotten way better. So yeah, that's pretty much everything I wanted to cover in this video. There's more points in this video that he talks about that I'll be using in a different video, so I don't want to repeat the same information. So like and subscribe to see those. Comment down below what I could have done better in this vid. I haven't really done one of these before, but I will be trying to cover some more Starfield topics in the future. Personally, my idea with this channel is to grow a bit of a community where we can pass around ideas and talk about information that other people could have missed, so we can all be in tune and have the most information possible. But with that, that'll be at the end of the video.